on the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back again with the story of today. So we hope that we were all watching, and if you were not watching, don't worry. We are here, obviously, to fill you up before we start discussing. So let us hear what Emily has for us in the store, and it's a greeting again from us from Zanzi at large. I'm actually fixing my stuff, and I'm sorry about that. Yeah, but we are here. Let us hear what happened in court today, Emily. I think your story is gonna start with 30 May. Oh no, it's gonna start with I think it's 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another one of our meetings here that we have every day after the court proceedings on the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Today for me was a bit emotional, Mr. Anonymous. I don't know about you, but it was quite an emotional testimony for me on my behalf. And it also made it worse to actually think that these guys have been through a lot. And well done to Muzi for keeping his composure, because at certain moments under that cross-examination, it felt like, he was 5-2 blowing up, But he kept it together. And yeah, it's something else what he's going through. So the Senzo Meyiwa trial within a trial has called accused number 1, Muzi Sibiya, to the witness box. And accused number 1 made an alleged confession and pointing out. Mgome Zulu started off by asking, you were arrested on the 30th of May 2020 on a J50 in Tembisa. And Sibiya said he was arrested on the 30th of May, but they never produced that document, the J50. Mgome Zulu then asked, after your arrest, you were questioned about the death of Senzo Meyiwa. And Sibiya said, yes. The judge told Sibiya that he can sit if he wanted to, and Sibiya said no. Jonas sounded like he was removing a chair or something, so we can pretty much tell that he was giving his testimony standing up. From what I could hear. So Mgome Zulu then said, on the allegations of murder of Senzo Meyiwa, was it the first time to be arrested regarding this death? And Sibiya said it was not the first time. In 2019, in March, that's the first time that they arrested him. So Mgome Zulu then asked, can you tell the court who arrested you, where you arrested, and what happened where you were arrested? And Sibiya said, I was arrested by Baloyi, and a police officer in uniform who I can't remember, and this was in Tembisa. So guys, these names to us, Mzansi Reality family, they are not quite new.
No.
Although they are new today because Muzi Sibiya mentioned them, right? But they are not new at all. We've heard them before when we were deliberating those 2 other cases that he had, or the other cases that he had, especially the illegal substance case. Yes, there's another video on the video tab on the channel. Those of you who may not know what we're talking about, there's a deliberation of his other cases over there, so you can go check out those videos.
Yes.
They should be of assistance to understand some of the details here that he testified on regarding today, because remember that this Senzo Meyiwa case is intertwined with the other cases that he has going on. You just heard that he was sentenced 5 years, or rather 10 years, 5 each to run concurrently, and he also has a 12-year sentence for attempted murder. So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But
so Mutau and Baloyi, these names are mentioned in the other trial of the illegal substances case.
Yes.
They were the ones who were investigating him for that. So he's saying, I was arrested by Mutau and Baloyi and a police officer in uniform who I can't remember. And this was in Tembisa. And Gomezulu asked, when you were arrested, what happened? And Sibiya said, police arrived in a taxi and pointed me with firearms.
Yes.
They asked me to lie down, which I did, and they put handcuffs on me. They picked me up using the handcuffs and pushed me inside the taxi. After that, they drove me to Shurolokop in Tembisa at some police place.
So
when we got there...
Just before you go further, the matter here that is being emphasized by where this man was arrested, it sort of now clarifies the issue of address. Whatever that was said then, it does not make sense because you arrested this man, you went with this man to his place, right?
Yes.
And the address never changed. So all the stories that we could be hearing about the address, they could not be true. And obviously that is our perception because, I mean, we are watching the case and we are hearing and we are comparing what has been said. Number two, without brushing, 2019 came empty-handed. And I want you to understand this part.
Okay.
Because that would therefore mean this man was let go free. Do you understand?
Yes.
This man was eventually let go.
Yes.
And he will soon be arrested on the
later.
30th of May 2020. There was no issue of attempted murder. There was no issue of substance whatnot and whatnot. So this man, at this point in time, his life was good. He could go see his wife. He has a wife, right?
He's married.
He's married, allegedly. That's what... Oh,
No, it's not
even
alleged. He
because
is
the
married.
wife
He has
is
a
the one
wife.
speaking.
Yes.
Yes. So he could see his kid. He was free.
To travel to KZN, back to Gauteng whenever he felt
And I
like
want
it.
you to understand that part because we talked about it, but we did not explain. And this is the time where we need to explain, elaborate further. He might have, allegedly, maybe had a fight with whomever he had a fight with in a form of lady and whatnot and what happened. But as it was explained, if you remember from Menzisto, it was explained that there was peace made. The peace was final, it was done.
Intlawu, bathelelana amanzi.
Wathelelwana amanzi. There was that thing. We are making peace. It's all good. We forgive you. Families allegedly did that. Well, somewhere, somehow, the case was brought back into life.
Yes.
Somewhere, somehow, it just came back into life. And now it was intertwined with the so-called substance case. So therefore now he's pushing 12 years, which was never there. And obviously this is my perception. If there was no Senzo case, this guy will probably be free, walking and seeing his kids at home. You know, as I was busy analyzing and checking all these things, and when I saw the video of a wife and her talking about the kids and all that, then I realized that if anything that is said by these accused is true, then perhaps people of color, we are worse than people of no color, as they did whatever that they did to us. Because when you do that to one person, it's okay, well and good, it's just one person, and that is if that thing happened. But what about the kids? It's been 6 years. They are growing without a father. It's not there.
Yep.
And we are discussing his father here. We are chilling. We are analyzing. We are saying, some of us are saying, yeah, they should rot in jail. Those who are in jail, it's well and good, and they were caught for whatever that they were caught for. But for those which their case were coincidentally intertwined with the case of Senzo, and if you look and listen to what this man is saying, 2019 was arrested, and when he was arrested 2019, he was only questioned about Senzo's case.
Yes.
And then they let him rest. And they go back again, 2020, 30 May, here we come. Now we are not coming alone, coming with a storm of cases. Similar
Conundrum.
Cases. And the worst part about him, maybe better dance than him, is that he's been found guilty for that one of 20 ammunition or something, or 30, I don't remember. And then this one, 5 years of, what is it, substance?
Yes, substance abuse and possession of ammunition.
Yes.
The black plastic bag.
Unfortunately, with him, the black plastic bag, it sticked. But with Ntanzi, it didn't.
It didn't.
And it's still in progress. And this is where you have to look at these magistrates, how they analyze what is given to them and decide to give their verdict. One magistrate, similar problem, they didn't enroll the case. The other one enrolled the case eventually when it mattered and the timing of the verdict it was given.
The timing of the verdict.
And I mean, it's not hard to actually sit down and be an independent person and chill and just watch what is going on and try to listen to the noise of people discussing this. Hey, these people should rot in jail. Have you thought about that maybe this guy was not some Kabi or some whatnot, but if he has a boy back home, maybe that boy is hingering on being that Inkabi because the father's life is being messed up. Do you understand?
That is never really thought about how it
the
affects
damage
the children.
that is done to that family, that wife. If there's a girl, that girl, when the father is not coming back, and you only see your father on television if you can, and these days you cannot even see.
And he's been painted out to be this horrible
person. And I'm discussing on the point of if this thing that these people are alleging is true, that really this is them being painted, who is going to pay for that? And if it is done by people, those people, they go at night, they kiss their babies good night sleep, they wake up in the morning, perhaps they even take them to school with the BMW or whatnot. Life is good for their kids.
It's soft.
But the mess that could be done, or the damage that could be done if these guys really did not do what they claim they did, is huge. There by Nongoma, by Mahlabatin, a kid is growing without a father, or kids are growing without a father. And those kids, one day, they will be adults that would need to face this world. When they hear the story of their father and they can comprehend it now, at the age that they will be at, they will be angry against the whole society, against the whole system. No one will ever look at that.
No.
The same law will correct by taking those people to jail.
No, they don't care. Because I even remember the utterances that Judge Rata was making, that magistrate who threw Ntanzi's case out was not correct to do so. I know a lot of people brushed it off. To me, it rubbed me off the wrong way.
Yes.
It was like, what do you mean he was not correct to do so? So he was
He
supposed
is only
to
correct because
continue with the case,
yes.
even though there was no such warrant. So
Yes.
you, in your mind, you cannot fathom the fact that evidence can be planted.
And you cannot fathom that the behavior of how this evidence is being, is it difficult to actually, two people complain with about one thing, and one magistrate says no, this is not right. This was not
right.
the correct way of finding whatever that you found about this guy.
And guess what? The majority of the public agree with that. Because how can you enter my house, find a black plastic bag, and you're telling me that it's mine while I'm telling you it's not mine? And worse, you entered here without permission or proper procedure to enter my house. So I cannot not say that you put that thing there. It's unimaginable. It's impossible. According to the judge, it's impossible that people
and we will paint
can do that.
a certain picture eventually as we go on about this case, because there is a certain picture that seems to disregard what is said by these guys, whether they are standing like today. Sibiya stood his ground.
Yes.
Even though he was asked the wrong question the wrong way.
And he was asked, it
stood
was badgering.
his ground.
He was asked one question a gazillion trillion
And
times.
yes, you must look at the behavior.
And the judge never said anything.
No, nothing.
But when it happens to the witnesses
Until
by the
him
defense,
until him
he
Nisi
has something
stands
to
up.
say.
Until him Nisi stands up. You know what he tells me? He's like, but that Mgomezulu should be the one.
Yes, you'll be the one objecting. Why?
What happened to that thing of everyone there is there to assist
Yes,
the
court.
court? What happened to that?
He's busy badgering. I'm like, Rata, Otole.
And later he even gives evidence of
He's
what
repeating
this
the
guy
same
was saying.
question
Yes.
over and over and over, and he's still not changing his answer.
And it's all good.
It's okay. It's
and you
fine.
tell me that you are
he's
expecting a
accused.
different outcome.
Hey, Nina.
We are expecting a different outcome. Or we sort of have a predetermined outcome. And this is just a question. Because as I was watching there, and I wanted to clarify that part, that this thing has been going on. And in the system, the very system, the so-called mighty law, that these law people would come and say, you guys don't understand any law. And
law
you know,
is
as
law
I,
for people.
as I was
law for
analyzing
kids.
this,
It's for us.
as I was analyzing,
So why don't you want us to understand it?
as I was analyzing, what I asked myself, I had to stand up and just take a walk, because I asked myself, what is the difference between Nkabi and the policemen of South Africa? And I further asked myself, what is the difference between a person who studied chemicals and using them and creating medicine, some of it good or bad? What is the difference between these people? Then I realized that the only difference is that one owns the mistakes they do. Others, and the lawyers are included, others do not own the mistakes they do. They don't own them. They don't care. As long as they can apply the so-called book. And each case is different. Like, I don't care how many similarities you'll find, but each case is different on its merits and and how I wish law would be sort of combined with the things that seems to soften the heart, also makes you understand or have that, I don't know, psychological way of doing things. And also, I'm not a person who says people must study the Bible. I'm not gonna say that. But if it does make your heart tender a bit, I would say we need that. because
Perhaps we need it.
people are so arrogant about what they are doing. But these are
Conscious.
people's lives that, to
Unembeza.
such an extent that these guys at some magistrate, they could not speak because they know nothing about law.
Yes.
And whatever that they were supposed to speak is useless with the rata because, it was not spoken
Before.
before.
In the court where they were not allowed to speak.
It doesn't matter. Does it matter? It
No.
doesn't matter. We talk about what is here. And we will go further to that as we look at the evidence given as hearsays. Let us continue, Emmy.
Well, he continued to further say that when we got there, I was ordered to get out and they put me in that office and questioned me about Senzo's death. What I know about Senzo's death.
And this is 2019.
2019.
Yes.
I informed them I know nothing about Senzo's death. They informed me, someone informed them, and that I know something. And I said, I don't know anything. That's when they started to tube me and assaulted me.
So this process started a long time ago. But because, and look at this, as people realize that you don't know nothing, you are just the person who didn't study, maybe. You are useless.
You don't know your rights.
They can always revisit you. And it happened. And if what is said here is true, the thunder strike twice in
Yes,
one place.
in one
Eventually,
place.
it came back because they realized that if we do something to that one, it doesn't even go and report. There's nothing he knows. And honestly
Doesn't
speaking,
even have a lawyer who's
from-
expensive.
from his
He's a
testimony,
shark.
if you were listening, you could tell that the guy doesn't have much of education.
Yeah.
The guy is just from villages.
Yes.
You were told that, hey, amapoyisa, they are above the law. Those are people that you should respect. Ile nhlobo ethi mayihlangana nephoyisa ikhumula isigqoko esipaqaza. You understand? You remove your hat when you come across the police. And that's where we come from. The Bundus. Where when we are told what the police are telling us, we think they are actually lawyers.
Well, Sibiya said that they tied my hands at the back and they ordered me to sit down. They tubed me and placed a plastic over my face. Now, accused number one demonstrated in the court how the plastic was placed over his head. And Ngomezulu asked, what do you mean they assaulted you? And Sibiya said, when others were placing a plastic bag over me, others were kicking me. How long did it go on for? Ngomezulu asked, and Sibiya said, I'm not sure of the time. It could have been an hour or 30 minutes. Ngomezulu asked, were there any visible injuries? And Sibiya said his hands were injured and his body was swollen. Ngomezulu then asked, then what happened after the assault? And Sibiya said that they were assaulting me and they said that they called a person with information that I unalived Senzo. Ngomezulu then asked, was that person called and did you see that person? And Sibiya actually said, yes, they called the person, I saw them. Then they removed me from there and took me to another office where this person that allegedly gave them information that I killed Senzo was. Although I am unable to remember how many they were, I remember some of their names. It was Zungu. They alleged he was a police officer. Sibiya.
And I want to hear the way he answers that question. If you listen carefully, does that sound like someone who knows the guy?
No.
They said he was a policeman. They said
he
was a policeman.
Yes.
If he knew the guy, he was gonna say Zungu
He was a policeman.
was there as a policeman.
Yes.
They said
They
he was a
said
policeman.
He was a policeman. Does that sound like somebody who knew who Zungu was?
Let us continue.
Then they alleged that he was a police officer. The other person who was there was Sibiya, Lishabani.
And I don't want you to rush that part. The Sibiya that they're talking about, we need to touch at that. Because you remember Zungu's testimony.
Yes.
And why it is easy to collaborate the story, because this was Zungu's testimony, this party was Zungu's testimony, Lishabane, Sibiya. And the Sibiya they're talking about is the one that is on the documentary, I would assume.
Yes, even Lishabane is there on the documentary. The first episode.
If you remember, Lishabane is a leader of Zungu, according to what we were told. Do you remember that part?
Lishabane at the time was head of crime intelligence, I think.
No. I'm saying, according to what Zungu said.
Oh, what Zungu testified.
He was under. Isn't that the person he told the story to first?
No, it was another person.
I forgot the person. Yes, okay, but what is the question? Is what is this person? What are these people doing there?
What are they doing there, right?
Yes, Sibiya, Lishabane, and now, very interesting. The person who's allegedly advocating for CAS 375 now, who was part of this case, Warrant Officer Makubo.
Makubo was also there.
And I guess that's a name that people won't be eased to hear. They will feel shaken, because once they say that name, it sounds like someone who can come and tell the truth.
Yeah, people are not so eager to hear what he has to say.
No. He's one of the people that it's Joyce him.
Yes.
I think he's not he's not the favorite.
They shouldn't go.
That's how it
near
looks like. Yeah, that's how it looks like, and that's our view, based on what we've been following. You would hear how they were testifying. The witnesses in the house were testifying about Warrant Officer Makubo and Joyce Buthelezi. Warrant Officer Makubo, I think, at some point went to KZN, right?
Yes.
With Joyce Buthelezi.
Yes.
So those are people that people are not easy with. And then they said there was Baloyi and Mdao, and the other person who he said he could not remember. Those two, Baloyi and Mdao, are the two police that arrested him at the time.
Initially, yes. They were still of small rank. I think they were, what is the smaller when you enter the police? I think they were fresh into the police. What do they refer to them as? I forgot the term that they use. So yeah, they were the ones who arrested him initially in 2019.
Yes. So that's where the problem started.
Constables, I think, yeah.
That's where the problem started. That's where all these things that today, some of them, they are serving your 12 years, your 5 times 2 years.
Yes.
That's where it started.
It started in 2019 for Muzi Sibiya. So Sibiya then said the others he doesn't recall, because even these ones he managed to get their names after some time. Can you imagine? You're being bombarded by all these police officers. You don't even know who they are, and here they are, like arresting you and stuff. So he's saying that he got to find out their names later after he was arrested. So Mgomezulu then asked what happened in that office, and Sibiya said that they asked me again what I know about Senzo's death. They were not seated on. They were seated on tables. They were sitting on tables, and I said I know nothing. And Mgomezulu asked what happened then, and Sibiya said I think they ended up believing that I knew nothing about Senzo's death. Mgomezulu asked what makes you believe that they believed what you told them about the death of Senzo, and Sibiya said one of them said this person knows nothing. Let him go. And Mgomezulu asked, who was that person? And Sibiya said, Makubo. I was told he was a police officer.
Look at this. The Makubo is painted by Zungu as someone who said, no, I don't believe accused number 5 was there, was part of this. I don't believe the story. Do you understand?
Warrant Officer Makubo is the one who arrested and
accused
investigated
accused number 5. So basically, in a sense, if you look at it in a general way, he had no business in defending accused number 5. But if he feels that no, we are missing the plot here, And that's how then Warrant Officer Makubo, and then from that point, we have been hearing how bad they are, and all that we are hearing about them, and that's something that is not even hidden. I mean, we're watching that.
Yes.
We hear how they testify about them. Everyone, even Zungu himself, he had few things to say about Warrant Officer Makubo and Joyce Buthelezi. So as people who were in the house, wouldn't be a coincidence. But I guess it was a coincidence that these people are so bad, but yet, as much as they are bad cops, then they still don't believe that the 5 were in the house, which would be much more easier to believe if they are bad cops, because, I mean, it's one job. I mean, in any case, anyone can go to jail. If you are a bad cop, anyone can go to jail. You don't care.
Well, Mgomezulu asked the court to provisionally accept the evidence of Warrant Officer Makubo because he's the one who said that he must be released. Now, Warrant Officer Makubo told them that this guy didn't do it. Release him. Right?
And that's what also Zungu said.
Yes,
he said, I don't believe this thing.
I don't believe the story of yours.
Consistent.
Who sent you?
The name of the people.
He said he even asked him, did Kelly Kumalo send you? Yes. Remember that part of the evidence, you guys? He even said that, and I was
do you
like,
know the Kumalos?
Do you know the Kumalos?
So here's the consistency. As much as Sibiya forgets most of the things, Sibiya talked about there was another Sibiya who was a police, Lishabane, Makubo, and this man also, Zungu said, when he met them, there was Makubo, there was Lishabane, there was Sibiya.
Yes.
So, I mean, if they are lying, these guys, if they are lying, I don't know, man, but they are collaborating in a sense, each other, but they are playing for a different team. The others are saying these people are guilty, the others are saying we're not guilty.
Well, the judge asked him why he wanted it to be provisionally accepted, and he said because it will amount to hearsay if it is said by accused number 1. The judge asked if he's going to call Makubo, and Gomezulu said that he would need to converse with the state if Mr. Makubo is a state witness or if he's on the witness list. The judge said that the state is no longer involved in the trial within a trial. They've presented their case, okay, and they've closed their case. The law says that it is now the defense's turn to counter the evidence or rebut that evidence and close their case. Mgomezulu said that he will secure the appearance of Mr. Makubo tomorrow. Then the judge said that this evidence is not provisionally admitted. He reminded Mgomezulu of the Section 3 of the Law of the Evidence Act of 1988. And he said it's because of that act that it is not admitted.
Now, I want to remind you, I don't know countless times where hearsays have been admitted in court, in that court in particular.
Yes.
Through Baloyi.
Yes. My lord, I would like to provisionally.
And at some point, I think some of these people didn't even call them.
Evidence.
At some point, I think, I could be wrong. This is my own analysis and in my perception. Some of these people were not called. Some of them. But well and good. Let's say they were all called. But he was given that chance for people to paint a certain narrative. Because that's what hearsays are doing. Yes. Normally they paint a certain narrative. And that narrative supported the NPA. This one, where a man promises that tomorrow he would secure the presence of Warrant Officer Makubo when is needed.
Yes.
No. It's not admissible because of Section 3 of was it Law of Evidence Act? Law of Evidence
Act of 1988.
Now let us look at when the hearsays are admissible, under what conditions. There are 3 conditions. It is through consent of 2 parties, of the parties that are on that lawsuit. So that would be the case where the judge would hear the judge saying, what is the defense saying after they objected? Once they say, my lord, if he says he's going to call the witness, this evidence can be provisionally admitted for now until pending the person coming to actually put a stamp on it. And it will continue like that. That evidence will be admitted in the very same court that we've been watching. I don't know. And then the other one, witness on whose credibility, the truth, and the extent of the reliability of the evidence depend, would come before the court, undergo the court scrutiny. And this is the case. So in this case, you don't even need to have a mutual agreement with the other parties. You can say the person is coming to testify about this. It's condition 3. And that's what Ngomezulu said.
Yeah, he did. And Baloyi has been doing it.
Yes,
come on, you guys.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He has been doing it where he will allow hearsay evidence and then call the witness.
And then the last one.
That's why we ended up with so many cops
The last one.
testifying.
The last one is the court established that the interest of justice demands the admissibility of the hearsay evidence. Now, this is the courts. This is now where the judge would apply its own knowledge and say, on the basis that I feel that this evidence is actually crucial, even though it's hearsay, then I admit, I accept that this evidence will be used, even though it's hearsay. I'll still have to apply my mind when I give the judgment. So
Well, I guess
those,
it isn't important
those are 3
to the
conditions.
judge.
And these conditions, they are not meant to be accumulative, meaning they are not supposed to be used in such a way that all of them are correct. One condition is fine. If one condition is met, therefore, hearsays can be admissible.
Okay. We're learning. Yes. Ngomezulu then said, after Mr. Makubo said you can't be released, what happened thereafter? And Sibiya said Makubo left and others who were supposed to take...
You can be released.
Yes, you can be released.
Yes.
Makubo left and others who were supposed to take me home instead took me to the police station. Tembisa police station. He said, I don't know the reason why they took me to the police station. When I arrived there, they charged me for illegal substances. He says, I don't remember the day where whether it was a Thursday or what, but it was the 19th of March. I was not taken to court. Ngomezulu asked, were you ultimately taken to court for the illegal substance charge? And Sibiya says, I was never taken to court to see a magistrate.
Now you see this substance. It was there, lingering, just waiting to keep him busy during that time. And then, I don't know what was not rated.
The people who arrested him are Baloyi and Mdao.
Yes, and the other one that is not known.
Those are the ones who arrested him for the
So
illegal
it was lingering during that time.
0.7 grams.
It was lingering during that time, but I don't know what was not yet completed. And then they said, no, we let it go. Then here comes a cold case that can resurrect all the cases that are struck off the roll, cases that are close. Boom! Got him.
Then they finally, did the things. Yes. Then Ngomezulu asked what was the matter enrolled, and Sibiya said, I was never given a reason. I was only told to go home.
That's when he was free. And then he waited for inevitable what was going to happen on the 30th of May, 2022.
Ngomezulu asked, so then on the 30th of May 2020, you were arrested on the strength of the J50, and that was for the second time, and that's where you said that's where they said you confessed to the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. Can you please tell the court how you were arrested on the 30th of May, by who? And Sibiya said, on the 30th of May, we were just sitting in a yard with other gentlemen. We were standing against the wall inside the yard. And then appeared a lot of police carrying rifles, and they pointed them at us. As they pointed them approaching us, they shouted at us. They also used the words like "futek," lie down, and ordered us to lie down. As a result of shock, as we were really shocked, we laid down. As we were laying down, another one was asking us our names one by one. Muzi said it was just the three of them, the gentleman he was standing with. He said, I told them what my name was. Sibiya then said they asked me where I am from, and I told them that I am from Mahlabatini. One of them pulled my hands to the back and placed handcuffs on me. They then picked me up by those handcuffs with my hands tied together. I searched, and two of my phones were taken, a Samsung and a Bopopo. A Bopopo is that old-fashioned phone with no internet access. So Sibiya then said I was ordered again to lie down. The two gentlemen who I was in the company of were asked to stand up. When they got up, I don't know what they did to the two gentlemen, whether they were searched or not, I don't know. This is very interesting. Whatever happened to those two gentlemen?
When did this happen now? Here's Vusutando coming here, say Colonel Joyce Butele has since passed on. When did that happen?
I don't know those news.
I don't know those news.
Are they breaking news?
I should be breaking news now.
Jeremiah, is it breaking news?
No, it's Vusutando. I Vusi icon. Not Joyce. Not Joyce. Last time I checked, that was not the case. That is an allegation that is, I think, not founded yet. Not unless it's something that is happening as we are speaking.
Unless if it's breaking news.
If it's breaking news, then tell us that it's breaking news.
But so far, no.
But
such
no.
information has
No.
been
My
shared.
Joyce is still available, from what I know.
And then the officers, they were traveling in cars, or were they walking, asking Gomezulu. And then Sibiya said that they were walking, but there was a Golf 7 that was parked opposite from where they were standing on the other side of the street. And Gomezulu asked, who were the passengers in that Golf 7? Do you know? And Sibiya said at first he didn't know who they were, but eventually he did. It was Mukhola and Mabena and Ngamani. Mukhola, Mabena and Ngamani.
So tell me this. Because the state is seemingly playing that game,
Yeah.
they get the names of the other one correct, but the state is sort of refusing to accept that there was some Ngamani there. Others you are fine with.
Now that you mention it, Ungamani, yini beef no Ungamani vele.
But Ngamani nje is like it's like it's like Kaylee running to the bedroom house. Ngamani nje.
Yes. Bafuna displace from where Sibiya said he was. They just want him out of that. It's very interesting. I wonder why. And remember how Mukhola denied that she was in that red Golf across the street. She denied.
And then accepted it, right?
Eventually. And then Sibiya said that he knew them after some time went on after he was arrested. And he said that a police officer then picked him up by the handcuffs. And he said that police officer was Monareng. And then a white person appeared and took pictures of them using a cell phone. After that, they picked him up with handcuffs and took him to the red Golf.
Let me correct this thing. I think, Vusutan, you should be talking about Ndlovu.
Oh, Brigadier Ndlovu.
Brigadier Ndlovu, and yeah.
And his wife.
Let's correct that. That's not choice. That's not choice. Yes.
Then Gomezulu asked, were there any rights explained to you and the reason why you were under arrest? And Sibiya said, no, I was not informed, my lord. And he said, when we got to the red Golf 7, I was asked where I stayed and with whom. I said nearby with my uncle. They wanted to know if I can show them. I told them that I will be able to show them. We then went to where I was staying. They lived in one shack with his uncle. Muzi said that he showed them where he lives. As they left, some of the cops had parked their cars nearby, and they got into those cars. And as he was loaded into that red Golf 7, they followed them with those cars, and they followed him all the way to where he resided. And after they arrived, they asked him to point out where he lived, and he pointed them to a shack with a green door. His address is Vusmuzi section 1818.
Not 181. Eh?
That one Mohola was giving.
Not
that funky one.
181. And the funny thing is that I had the NPA, the man standing for Baloyi, dealing with why are you not objecting when the lies are being told.
Then
here he's correcting the address. He's correcting the address that when you tried to correct, he was told otherwise, and it remained as contradicting on the record.
Yes.
181, and when you Google that place doesn't have 181, but it has like thousands.
4 digits.
We even said that it's thousands, 4 digits.
4 digits.
So 1818 is the address.
House numbers. So all of a sudden they got 3-digit numbers. And there was also a discrepancy that Mgomezulu tried to point out, that actually, do you see there that there's a number there, and for some weird reason it's not clear. Do you remember that? And then they were all like, no, it's not there. Mohola was like, she doesn't see it. It's 181.
Yeah.
Well, some police officers...
And that number...
Yes. Is the reason why
is
they
the reason
hunted
why,
him down like a dog,
yes,
instead of
apparently.
issuing a warrant of arrest.
Yes.
Yes. In simple English terms. My apologies to those who may feel offended. But some police officers then went to the shack that I lived at, and they came back and they said that there was no one there because I was with some police officers in the Golf 7. The ones that had went to the shack came back and they said, we need to go somewhere else. And Sibiya then said, after we left, we went to a municipal place called Litabong. When the replaced vehicle stopped, and then I was instructed to get out. When we got out, they placed me into a room that looked like an office. In fact, it looked like a change room. He said I didn't understand that room. I was then asked to sit on my heels. Istulo semoya, an air chair. It's some kind of punishment that is done in the military and the prisons by the warders of some sort. Even back in the days of corporal punishment, I remember some of the teachers used to make students do that nonsense. But yeah, it is some form of a punishment. It hits on your muscles. Sometimes they would say you balance your back with the wall or something like that. But his sounds a lot more harsher. He says that he did do what they were asking him to do, which is sitting on that stulo somoya. Istulo somoya. Sitting on that air chair. We're going to call it an air chair from now on. Then he said, I was told I was going to be asked questions and I must answer honestly. And I said, I don't have a problem. Mgomezulu then asked who was asking those questions. And Sibiya said it was Muhola. Then asked me, what do I know about Senzo's death? I told them I know nothing about Senzo's death. Then another officer came and said that they know what role I played in the death of Senzo Meyiwa with the Buthelezi brothers. Now, how come the Buthelezi brothers? Now, remember, accused number 5 also mentioned this Buthelezi.
Do you remember the initial part of this cold case where Nduli was saying that this guy came there at Kalagabusha?
Yes.
He said he was coming for Buthelezi.
Yes.
And then, Jiggy, it's us who are here. hears that Buthelezi.
Now they're bringing it's brothers now.
And it's through the question.
With Buthelezi brothers. But how come those Buthelezi brothers are not standing there as the accused? Because this Buthelezi
They came
brothers,
to testify. One came to
testify.
Yeah, my judge.
He says, I told them I knew nothing. He then said I must pretend to be a fool because they have full knowledge about what happened to Senzo. When I said I knew nothing, they tripped me and I fell. Because he was sitting, since he was sitting on that air chair, istulo somoya. When I was on the ground, another took a plastic and put it around my face. They kept asking me about Senzo's death. I said I don't know anything. As they continued with the plastic, that's when I urinated on myself. They continued tubing me.
And I want you
after
to
some
hold
time,
that part of urinating.
stopped.
Because eventually it's going to come as a question in the cross-examination. I remember vividly that part. I don't remember number 2.
No, none of number 2 was mentioned.
All I remember
He
is that
just
I think
twisted the record in a weird way.
I think Mngomezulu, what Mngomezulu was suffering from today, and I will call it out. He didn't have the help that he needed.
Ramusipil.
This is Ramusipil's work also to make sure that when this is a crucial day, I'm surprised he was not even there.
I'm also surprised.
Do you understand? I'm surprised he
your
was not
witness
there.
is on the box.
Yes.
Well,
Someone
where are
you've
you?
been walking the journey
Mr.
with. Yes. For the first time, he's going to go on the box and you need to hear everything that is happening. And we are not present.
Oh,
So this guy, he could just read half of what needs to happen. Even if that number 2 was just number 2 of the typing. It became the number 2 of the number 2.
no, I remember it well. It was
It
under
was an argument.
cross-examination. Yes,
There was an argument
it was
about
under
it.
cross-examination.
Yes.
I don't remember whether it's Mohani or Muhula.
And
But
it started talking about number 2.
I remember it because I was perplexed as to how they came to the conclusion that he did a number 1 instead of a number 2, because Mngomezulu throughout his cross-examination
He was
didn't
talking about
mention-
messing up himself.
Yes, messed up himself. That's what he said. And then the other police officer who testified said that he peed. And I'm like, how did he know that he peed? Because that's not what Mngomezulu said.
And there was that
Mngomezulu brought
argument.
it up in the cross-examination of this police officer. So this sneaky prosecutor decided to quote only that one sentence when Mngomezulu was asking him,
How do you know if it
that
was
is-"
number 2 or not?
Yes. I'm like, when as a swag prosecutor, I feel like Baloyi would have done a better job,
It is alleged.
allegedly. But I was like,
No, the questions that he asked, if
he
you listen
disappointed
to
me with it.
when you listen to all of it, the questions that he asked, they are, in my own opinion, wrong. The questions I don't know whether it's on purpose. That's how he moves. I don't know.
I don't understand.
And
him.
then he keeps on threatening that we're gonna be
Gonna
here
be
for
the
a
whole
long.
day. I'm like, where do they do this at? This is not primary school. What is wrong with you? Calm down. It's like it's a moment to shine. No, just ask the questions, and when you don't get the answer, move on. I don't understand how the defense, because that's the defense's job. What he was doing, it was actually what defense counsel in a normal court does. But however, in Ratam Kwatling, it's opposite. The prosecutor is allowed to cross-examine like sharks and wolves, but the actual defense counsel is not allowed to do that to any of the witnesses. Had the defense counsel been allowed to do that from the very beginning of this trial, we could have gotten a lot more information out of these witnesses that were testifying, in my opinion. But they were forced to become soft and to become lambs and to become... My apologies. My apologies if I offended and made you feel bad. I mean, don't talk to me like I'm your wife. The craziness that is allowed in there. But when today the accused are being cross-examined, they are allowed to be badgered with one question asked 5 different types of ways. And the judge is not saying anything about it. I would like to understand that. I don't understand it. because we needed that kind of energy from the defense counsels to some of the witnesses that were testifying and clearly lying, but they were not allowed to do that. They're supposed to be massaging them, coming them to them soft.
What you mean clearly lying? We allege here.
Allegedly.
There's no one who's clearly lying.
Allegedly. But you know what I mean. So yes, these people already knew him, and they sent him to the police cells. They knew that it would show what they did, in my opinion, because the wetting of the pants situation. They knew that, you know what, we can't hand this person over at the police station with those pants looking like that, with the wetness at the front, rear end. So we must just as well go back and have him change his pants. That's in my opinion, if that happened, the wetting of the pants.
That tragedy, it brought case of ammunition for 5 years. Because when they went there, what do? They kick the door, allegedly. According to his testimony.
Muzi Sibiya's story.
And then from there, the rest is history.
They find the black plastic bag with ammunition after kicking the door down. After a while, then they stopped. Others went out. They then came back and said, let's leave. And remember how they said that they were taking keys out of his pocket or something like that? Well, they never said to where. One of the officers said the very same handcuffs he was cuffed in, and took those handcuffs as he was cuffed in at the back and lifted him up. Yo, I can imagine that kind of pain. You're taking your handcuffs by, and then they just lift you up from the ground. Yo! Ngomezulu then said, did you sustain any injuries? And Sibiya pointed to his wrist, saying that the marks are still there when he was being beaten as well, visible even now. But he was mainly mentioning the marks around the wrist that came from the handcuffing and the lifting up. And Sibiya then said, we then went to my shack. They kicked the door open and searched. Ngomezulu asked, where were you when they kicked the door? And Sibiya said, they went in with me as they kicked the door open. It was Buthelezi, Monareng, Mapumulo, Jonathan. There were many of them. After kicking the door, one of the officers pushed me inside. After they were finished, they said, let's go back to the vehicles. And Ngomezulu asked, was anything found?
In that process of kicking in, this man was stripped naked.
Yes, there's a part where he said he was stripped naked.
Even the underwear was changed.
By them. While he was handcuffed.
Change of shoes, change of pants.
They stripped him naked.
It's, yeah.
Inhumane.
So from there, from that whole process, do you still go and report to these people? To who?
Because they're...
I mean, if this evidence that is giving is anything to go by, even the police, as we were seemingly suggesting, that some of these police perhaps could feel that these people are above the law. They are above them. That's what Sibiya now is saying, that some of the police said, I'll go and investigate, and then later on, they're like, back. Oh, Chief,
they're like, these people
are above us.
Reporting them is just going to create smoke for us, you know. It's going to end badly for some of us.
Let's continue.
And Ngomezulu then said, Buthelezi said ammunition in a plastic bag was found. And Sibiya said those are lies.
So basically, which you know what I like about this? A normal person would have said, in fact, they did come with the plastic and then they showed me the plastic. What Sibiya is saying, even when Mgomez is asking, did they go inside the house with you? And that question was to say that maybe they could have planted it for him.
Yes.
So that would mean that that plastic was never there in any case. It was created at some point. And that is if the theory, because it's saying Nothing. They didn't find anything there other than changing him, stripping him naked, and then changing him and going back. And eventually, when they came to police station, they're like,
we're opening a case.
we need to open a case of...
Because even the testimony of the police officers, those statements that they were written at the police station. They were not written with him there as they were arresting him according to their version.
You know what I would like to see? If these people were indeed there in that house and they find ammunition, there was a person of no color there that was explained who was taking pictures, right?
Yes, where are the pictures?
Where are the pictures of this ammunition in possession from the house and all that? Where are they?
Now we need to upgrade to video because even pictures can be staged. We are seeing it on the gram all the time. The girls are, photoshopping. It's a lot going on with pictures. So we need video now. Police must work with video footage. We can't be going through this over and over every single year, every single time. It's too much. So Sibiya said, as I was about to get into the vehicle, one of the officers said that they can't go with me with wet pants. They then said, we go back and point my pants and underwear. And Gomezulu asked him, you changed? Sibiya said, they took off my pants, underwear, and put on others. It's a very dehumanizing experience. They definitely...
Women are there? Was there women there?
Yes, Mogola was there. They took down his human dignity, in my opinion. And they told me to wear closed shoes, formal shoes. Sibiya then went back to the car they drove, and he says he saw them enter Vosloorus. And Mgomezulu asked, there's evidence from Mogola that you went to Tembisa hostel. And Sibiya said, no, we never went to a hostel in Tembisa.
And that evidence is the reason why they ended up in Vosloorus, according to Mogola.
Yes.
That
hostel.
They were looking for a,
by the way, there's no such hostel by that name.
Yes, a particular pestle from Vusumuzu hostel, which does not exist in Tembisa. And then they then, because of that lead of non-existing hostel, the name, by the way, it's non-existing because of the name.
Maybe they went to the hostel, but the name, they got it wrong. There's no such hostel with such
from
name.
that non-existing hostel, they therefore headed to Vosloorus, following a lead. And if you remember Mogola's testimony,
yes,
they were following the lead going to Vosloorus.
Yes, they were looking for the firearm because they found ammunition.
And then eventually it changed to they were meeting.
Sibiya said, we didn't stop anywhere, and when we got to Vosloorus, I was made to get off, and they asked me again, are you still denying you don't know anything about Senzo's death? I said, I don't know anything. Mgomezulu then asked, Sergeant Mogola said in Tembisa you made some admission. Sibiya then said, there is nothing I admitted to. Mgomezulu then said, is there any persons that you found at Tembisa hostel with the purpose of looking for a firearm? And Sibiya said, no, there were none. None. And Sibiya then said they continued to be me and then assaulted me. After some time, a man appeared who I got to know after some time was Gininda. After he arrived, they stopped assaulting me. He called them aside. Then Gininda came back and asked what I know about Senzo's death. I said nothing. He further said he had knowledge that I had a hand in Senzo's death. I then said these people took me during the day and I have been telling them I know nothing. And Gomezulu then said, according to Gininda, you said you knew something. And Sibiya said, no, I was admitted to nothing. I admitted to nothing. He was telling lies. Mgomezulu then asked, were any rights given to you at any stage? And Sibiya said, no. Mgomezulu said, so you never made any admissions or confessions regarding the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. And Sibiya said, I did not make any confession. Then they went to Soweto, Sibiya said, to a police station in Diepkloof. Mogola, Mabena and Ngamani were there. Mgomezulu asked what happened then, and Sibiya said, I was taken to this yard. There were also steel crossing each other. Steel. He was trying to define it, it was like a mesh thingy for the braai stand that he's describing. You know, that thing that you put the meat on top of. That's what he saw at the time. And Ngomezulu then asked what happened, and Sibiya said, Gininda asked me again that I have no knowledge of Senzo's death. I said I maintain I know nothing. Then he said he will leave me there. Sibiya said they carried
Where
on
are the cars they were
him.
driving, these people?
There's only one that they handed over, is the Fortuner that mostly transported accused number 2, if I'm not mistaken. But it's only the Fortuner that.
Here's another statement that you would find funny. That Ginindi said he's used to working with people like me.
But that was weird, right?
I will tell the truth. Eventually, I will tell the truth.
What does he mean by that? I'm used to working with people like you. And
if you look, there are cases that...
The Krecha one.
Yeah, that case is
It's
lingering.
very disturbing, that Krecha one. The trial within a trial corner was very
It was hot,
troubling.
like hot mess. Right, let's continue.
So Sibiya then said they carried on tubing me, saying that I must say what I know about Senzo's death. And Ngomezulu said,
And just before you finish, Emil, there was a time where Mshololo asked about, have you ever been accused of this behavior that we are seeing here? And that was called what? Character
witness.
Character evidence or something like that.
Character evidence, yes, by
Yes.
Baloyi. He objected.
The
and
question stems from such cases.
said, why can't you ask about the previous things that a person has done? Why can't you bring them up in a current trial? Can somebody please help me understand?
The same line of thinking with the so-called people that are saying that these people are guilty because some of them, they have been, it's the same line of question that we should follow, the line of thinking that we should follow also, because
Yes.
if we can conclude that is the case on the basis of what you have done in the past, therefore it should be accepted that we also have to look at your character in the past. If we have
Yes.
not done the very same thing, if we
Yes.
don't, if we feel like what we are doing is like a deja vu that has happened before, shouldn't we ask that question to say that perhaps this is your character, this is who you are, this is how you deal with the issues?
I mean, I rewatched the clip and they were speaking of how even they were offered money in the Krecha case to turn on each other or something like that. And I was like, isn't it similar to what we are hearing now here? Accused number 2 now was saying that he was offered 3 million to implicate, people. I'm like, good tricky, good wavy. So Sibiya then said, when you are being tubed, they stop to allow you to answer. And Ngomezulu asked, for how long did it happen? And Sibiya said he doesn't remember the time. And of course you wouldn't. I mean, you're being tortured, the time is long. As you're feeling pain, it feels like forever, Then Sibiya then said, then a man came who I got to know as Colonel Mboto. Then Ngomezulu asked, can you tell the court what you spoke about? And Sibiya said, Mboto said he wants to ask me a few questions. Ngomezulu asked, what did you say? And Sibiya said, I said, okay. He then asked me about Senzo's death. I told him I know nothing about it, that I have been telling them that. Mboto had some documents in his hands, and as he was asking me questions, he was writing down. As he was asking him questions about Bala. Then Ngomezulu then said, according to your knowledge, was he writing down what you were saying? And Sibiya says, I don't know. And Ngomezulu then said, did he show you those documents? And Sibiya said, the documents were in his possession. And Ngomezulu asked, did he ask you to sign or write the statement? And Sibiya said, as he was asking me questions, he would be writing, and he asked me to sign. And I said, I can't use my hands because I was tied. And Ngomezulu asked, did you sign the document? And Sibiya said, yes. The handcuffs were loosened and I signed. And Ngomezulu asked, were the the contents of those documents read back to you, and Sibiya said I was never informed. And Mgomezulu asked, how many pages did you sign? And Sibiya said, I don't recall. And Sibiya continued to say that when Boto asked him to sign, the police officers wanted to move his handcuffs. And he said, oh, you were hurt. And I said, yes. So this is Mboto removing or requesting for the handcuffs to be moved. And then he notices that the wrists are not looking fine. And he's like, oh, you are hurt. And Sibiya says, yes. You can imagine that there was like a glimpse of hope, right?
Yeah, like something is coming. Something, you know, I'm signing for the last time. I'm done with this whole process. The pain of not being able to understand this foreign language. Hey, the pain. It's deep, man. It's deep.
Then Mgomezulu then asked, did Colonel Mboto see that? And Sibiya said yes. Mgomezulu asked, what happened on the 31st of May 2020? Sibiya said, I was booked out of the cell. I got up. I was taken to a white Fortuner driven by Mohani. I can't remember where they were taking me to. We were going to a lot of places. Mgomezulu then asked, what happened on the 1st of June? Did you appear in court? And Sibiya said, yes, Tembisa Court. I made an application for legal aid. They tubed me and wanted me to show where we were when we killed Senzo. I then informed them that I never killed Senzo. And Senzo, I don't even know where he died. Now, this is the part where he was taken to the pointing out, right? And he was taken for the pointing out. And he also said that at Mahlabatini, when they took me home, I told my father the police were assaulting me and saying I know something about the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. And Mgomezulu asked, do you remember when you were charged? And Sibiya said, on the 26th of July 2020 at Foslores police station. And Mgomezulu asked, by who? And Sibiya said, Gininda. Mgomezulu then asked, the state has led evidence that you made a confession freely. And Sibiya said, no, it never happened freely. Everything that happened to me was not out of my free will. Even with Mboto, I was abused, pointed with firearms from morning till evening. Whatever I did was for my own safety. Nobody there was on my side protecting me. Even those I would report to about the assault, there was no assistance, no help. You know, he was even saying, telling those people that I was assaulted, it was like getting assaulted again. And police were threatening me, and I was in shock.
So this whole occurrency book, it becomes useless then.
Yeah.
I mean, on the basis that this man is saying that these people would walk in straight to the police station and go lock him without interacting with anyone.
The current book, they would interact with it after.
And then after, maybe when they lock him, they come back, they say, right, 1, 2, 3. The power, man. It's the power for me.
Who's to say that occurrence book, those entries were not even made this year during the trial? Who's to say? I'm just saying. I'm just speculating.
The power on these people. If anything that is said here is, they have the power, man. The power is the problem. And yeah.
Like they would tell on themselves, according to Judge Ratam Khwatleng, that I will write on an occurrence book. Today I beat up Muzi Sibiya. I handcuffed him so hard.
Even someone who's
on his wrist.
And it makes sense. The positioning of these people is such that they are above the people who are in the police station, even the person who's in charge of the police station.
I wouldn't think
they are from the national. Remember that, you see that word, that
national.
It matters, national.
They are higher of rank and office. So once they enter, that's why they can move them from this police station to that police station to this police station to that police, and the people
only
in the police
when
station,
you change the province that you see the resistance.
Yes.
That's what I'm gathering.
Yes.
When you change the province, then that's where resistance begin to kick in.
So imagine being that police officer in the police station who listens to Muzi complaining about I'm being beaten up, right? What can you do?
You'll probably tell on him eventually to actually show that we are
loyal
to the
the
group,
big
to the
bosses.
big bosses.
And on top of that as well, I understand that maybe he may have been tipped off by some police officer in that police station to say, I cannot help you, but you can do this at your next court appearance. And then ask, because how would he have known that actually if I get moved to a prison, I'd be safer from these investigators who keep abusing me? It must have been some police officer who was like, I cannot do anything.
Who
but
felt
I
sorry
can,
for him. Guys, let's just like the video. We beg you. 433, 168 likes.
Guys, press the like button. Guys, don't be stingy with those likes. Press the like button. I thought I would stop begging in 2024. I thought I would stop begging for your likes. Come on, guys, please press the like button. We'd really appreciate it if you press it. Okay, so everything that happened in this matter, he said I was arrested for something I know nothing about. I was fearful and I was in fear and in shock. Sibiya was done with his evidence in chief, and advocate Charles Mnisi stood apparently to do his cross-examination. I don't know what was happening with the SABC. Man, about this part, I had to watch ENCA. I don't know. I just felt like some of the skipping was happening. Hopefully they fix it today.
I got there was some president's speech. Hey, Mato.
Oh, they kept cutting it for the... Oh, God, no. Please, tomorrow, let it play properly, please. So, Sibiya to advocate Charles Mnisi, he said, nothing I did with Mboto was out of my free will. And Mnisi asked, Colonel Hadebe said you wanted to point out certain places. And Sibiya said Hadebe never explained rights to me. I was doing what he was instructing me to do. I also never pointed out anything. They pointed out what they wanted and wanted me to point. Yo, guys, I gag. They would point him and they say point and then they take a picture. Remember they said they even have pictures. They said they took pictures of him. So according to how Sibiya is narrating, they would show me what to point.
And why would you differ with that
and
when...
then I point and then they take a picture.
Why would you differ with that when I don't know whether Dumo Togo also said something like that?
It must have been Togo.
When they were pointing there, when they were taken to ID parade, he said, I didn't point at the...
He said he pointed at
Mtogo,
yes, it was Mtogo. He pointed at somebody and then they quickly took a picture of him pointing and then the person that he pointed.
Yes.
No wonder why people are so afraid in South Africa of being witnesses in a court or testifying.
No, it's a hard thing.
Yeah. No wonder why people don't want to do it. I don't blame
Besides
people.
risking your life,
You are risking your life on top of it.
you might get arrested even yourself.
And Togo said, I didn't mean to say that that person was the person. I just wanted that person to come closer so that I have a closer look at them. But as he was doing that, it was interpreted as he's saying, you are pointing that person.
You'll never remember that, only us, because we are archives.
So then Sibiya said, I also never pointed out anything. They pointed out what they wanted me to point at. And then, yes, picture. Yes. Then in the post, the lunch sitting, advocate Zitulele Nxumalo of accused number 4 had no further questions. And Mshololo stood to ask the questions, and she started off by asking, with Colonel Mboto, there were papers he made you sign. The papers you were made to sign, were they read to you? And Sibiya said, no, they were never read to me. And Mshololo asked, were you ever told before you signed, did they tell you it will be used against you in court? And Sibiya said, no, they never told me. And Mshololo said, is there any force that made you sign the document before Colonel Mboto? And Sibiya said, yes, there was. I was first assaulted and threatened by the police. I was also scared for my life that if I don't give them what they wanted, Mshololo then says, so it means the consequences of not remaining silent were not explained to you before you signed. And Sibiya said, no, they never explained anything to me. Then Mshololo said, let's move to the statement that was prepared by Colonel Hadebe in Alberton. Do you remember it? And Sibiya said, no. When Sibiya said no, I saw Mshololo's face. Inhliziyo icishe yama.
But the line of questioning was difficult for him to actually. They should understand that this man is not gonna remember statement by who, what not. He's not that kind of a person.
He's not learned in those things.
Just ask a question and then
make it simple.
Get the answer.
But then making it simple will always hinder him from the defense, from the state.
Leading the
yeah, he needs to be.
Yeah, but he followed up with that question that he could have asked.
Mshololo followed up and said, when you were busy with Colonel Hadebe, did he tell you that you had a right to remain silent and not to say anything to him? And Sibiya said, no, he never informed me. So did Colonel Hadebe also inform you of the consequences of not remaining silent in whatever he was asking from you? And Sibiya said, no, he never explained. He never told me anything. You know, this thing of making confessions and whatnot, do you really, if you are going to say these people are guilty, and yes, they wrote those confessions, and yes, they confessed, if you are going to believe that thing, how does a person be told lento le ozoyikhuluma manje sizoyisebenzisa sisebenzisele against wena ekantolo, and you still continue to confess? And not only you are not also confessing under freedom, although they like to say it was free under free will. These people were arrested. Who confesses when they are arrested like that? Like you just spill the beans because you are arrested for another case. And you confess to a case that you are not even implicated in with evidence of you being at the scene. Think about it, you know. Mshololo said, when you were leaving the Alberton police station, did he inform you that whatever you were going to say to him and whatever you were going to point out to him will be used against you in court? And Sibiya said, no, he never told me that. And in Boksburg Magistrate Court, did you report any time to the court that you were being assaulted by the police? And Sibiya said that whenever he would raise his hand to make the magistrate or to say something, that the police were beating him, the magistrate did not allow him to speak. And I think we all saw it for those who watched the court proceedings of Boksburg Magistrate Court. They were not allowed to talk. They were not allowed to say anything in the court appearance, okay? They even were told at some point that this is not a media briefing. Sibanda is standing in for Advocate Baloyi for the entire week. Now, we have seen him next to Advocate Baloyi almost every day. But nothing prepared me for the level of drama he brought today. The lifting and shifting and adjusting of his robe and the microphone as well. I was like, and boy, was I not wrong. The shouting at the accused as well, raising his voice whenever he wanted to emphasize a question. Now, I was never ready for that. I wasn't. So I think we're all used to the calmness of Advocate Baloyi. Even under stressful conditions, he still puts it together. I mean, you'd never see him act that way. So it was kind of refreshing. Was when they started off by asking the assault in March 2019, why is the court hearing this the first time today? Then Sibiya said that because the officers who are transporting him to the court are not the same ones who assaulted him back then. And Sibanda said, did you inform the attorney regarding that aspect? Then Sibiya said he did. Sibiya actually informed his lawyers back then who were representing him that all of this was happening, And then Sibanda asked him, you informed this court today that when you were arrested on the 30th of May 2020, it was not for the first time wherein you were arrested for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And Sibiya said it was not for the first time that I was being beaten. Okay, I was beaten for the case of Senzo Meyiwa. It wasn't for the first time. And Sibanda said, Mr. Sibiya, being assaulted and being arrested is two different concepts. Sibiya said, I have never said that I was arrested for the second time. I was first taken and assaulted first. I was assaulted for the case of Senzo Meyiwa. Sibanda then said, the second question that Mgomezulu asked you is regarding what happened to Mr. Mgomezulu, or my learned colleague, asked you today on the allegations of the murder of the soccer star. Was it your first time you being arrested for such a matter on the 19th of March 2019? And you said that that is correct. And Sibiya said, yes, I was supposed to answer like that because the police took me in for the case of Senzo and beat me up for it. So Sibanda then said, we will argue that later. Let's proceed, Mr. Sibiya. I really didn't understand the angle where he was going in this section. Which is why
he was trying to say that Sibiya is damsacking that he was beaten. He was there on the 2019.
The 19th of March,
the
2020.
of March. He was trying to say that, but it didn't sit well because Sibiya, in his answering, he's saying that I was never arrested for the first time. I was taken for the beating.
And which eventually didn't end up with a charge because he didn't appear. It's so complicated. Then Sibanda said, we will argue that later. And let's proceed, Mr. Sibiya. That important aspect, that it was not for the first time being questioned regarding the murder of Senzo Meyiwa is very important. It was never put to any of the witnesses that were brought by the state. And Sibiya said, are you referring to the trial within a trial or the main trial? And Sibanda said, I'm referring to the main trial as well as the trial within a trial. But now we are busy with the trial within a trial, sir. Sibiya said, I won't speak on his behalf as to why he didn't say it himself. And Sibanda asked, let's go to the day of your arrest. Now, the 30th of May 2020. You said you were arrested on a particular date. And Sibiya said the 30th of May is a day when I was arrested. And Sibanda asked, who arrested you? And Sibiya said, at first I didn't know then, but I ended up knowing them. It was Mogola, Sadiki, Butelezi, Mapumulo, Munareng, Johannes, Mabena, and Ngamani. And the other one I'm forgetting. I don't know if...
Where was Jonathan?
They refer him to Kennel. This time he didn't mention Jonathan. Maybe he confused Gaur Johannes.
Because I remember Jonathan.
Maybe he confused.
No, I remember. I think I had Jonathan.
Okay, maybe he said Jonathan. Now I heard Johannes.
No, I had Jonathan.
Well, he said, I don't know if they refer him as Colonel who. There were many others. I can't remember their names, but there was also a white police officer. Where is that white police officer? Why wasn't he called by the state to come and testify?
Doesn't want to be bothered.
You also testified that you were in the company of someone else. Who is that particular person? And Sibiya said, you mean their name? And Sibanda raised his voice. He said, I'm asking for their names, sir. And I said, yeah. Sibiya said, brother.
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. I think the defense should have objected unless they are not going to use those people. But if they are going to use them, they should have objected to say, because, hey, why do you want the names?
Why does he want the
Why do you want the names?
Well, Sibiya said brother and Bote. Sibanda then said, do you remember when Buthelezi testified before the court that indicating that there were 3 gentlemen that he approached on that day in question? And Sibiya said, we were 3.
Flip the script here.
As to what Buthelezi was saying, I don't remember.
I remember, no, in fact, this guy, Mohole, ne?
Yes.
Said 2.
Yes.
And then Buthelezi came and said 3.
3, yes.
And then accused number 1 said 3.
Yes. Accused number 1 has always been saying
3, yes.
From the first time he gave his story through his defense attorney, that it's been 3. He has never really changed. However, it seems like we are listening to different court cases somehow.
The man is there, always giving Baloyi
Every day.
information. What is he giving him?
What is going on?
I
left
mean-
me so confused today.
I'm not there, but I know for sure what happened. Mohole is the one who talked about 2, and we even questioned it
Yes.
when Danzi when SB was talking about 3 people,
Yes.
and then Buthelezi came and said 3.
Yes. That's how I remember it as well. But it's like, you are in there, in the court. How
He's
can
gonna be pulling a letter record speaks for itself.
and then quote one sentence,
Quote one sentence.
one phrase, in fact, not even a full sentence.
I mean, the guy is weak for me.
I was like, what is going on? I was expecting, like,
Today's line of questioning, I think for me, it was flipped a lot. And I was surprised.
no, I give him, he's confident. He has the confidence, but he doesn't have the facts. He doesn't have his story together. You know, it's a mess.
Maybe that's why Baloyi was not there.
You think?
Maybe. What is he doing? He didn't say what he was doing.
We would have definitely done a
And
better
you
job than this.
know what the funny thing is. Normally, this judge would ask people, "What is the problem?" But Baloyi said, "I'm not gonna be available." That was it.
That was it. Yeah, he usually wants to know why you're not coming to
Yes,
court.
yes.
But with Baloyi, he didn't inquire.
So and then these guys are whatever they are saying. I don't think Baloyi wanted to face that part.
You think so?
I don't think so. I don't think he wanted to face that part.
Because Naming Mange.
Yeah, and then he said, "I'll leave this one out. Just
Warm
do your
it up
job.
for
Warm
me."
it up. I'll be watching you or something. I don't know, but obviously this is my speculation and my own perception."
You hi, Bizkala. And he went on to ask, through your counsel, you said you were only 2. And Sibiya said, I've never said so. It was a version that was put to Buthelezi. I can refer to the relevant portion. Mgomezulu stood to say that he is waiting for the confirmation of that evidence from the record. And guess what? He took his laptop to look for that evidence and he never found it, Mtagabao. It had to be stood down. Mgomezulu said that insofar as his recollection is concerned, Mr. Buthelezi said that when he approached them, they were 2. And that was what was put to him, is that they were 3. From what he could remember, of course, even though Mr. Anonymous just clarified it now, I also remember it the way Mr. Anonymous said it. And the judge asked Sibanda to make a note of that.
He's not coming back to that note.
Sibanda said he will withdraw that question and found another question. Sibanda then said, who effected the arrest? And Sibiya said, Munareng. And on the 30th in Tembisa, Sibanda asked in Tembisa, are you not mistaken, sir? And Sibiya said, no. Sibanda said, is it not Constable Buthelezi? And Sibiya said, no. Sibanda said, when Buthelezi testified on the 1st of November 2023, did you dispute that part of that?
This is where I don't get it. When this guy does not dispute and wait for his chance, it becomes the problem. When he disputes it,
It
it's
seemed
still
like he
red
wanted
in
to
it.
use this opportunity to address that he has a problem with accused number or the accused raising up their hands to clarify some of the things. It seems like it bothers him. Why does it bother you so much? He even dragged it into his cross-examination. I'm like, this thing is personal.
There's nothing.
This thing is personal. You're just irritated by them raising their hand. They're fighting for their lives. What do you expect them to do? Yo. Then Sibiya then said, I don't remember Buthelez's testimony, but I'm speaking on what happened. I can't speak for Buthelezi. Then Sibanda said, when Monareng testified in this court as well, you did not take this court into your confidence and out that assertion to him that you are the one who arrested me. Imagine doing that. It was him. I cannot forget. Is that what you
Look where they ended.
No.
Sister is
This cross-examination was
allegedly
funky.
the mastermind.
Oh my goodness. And the sister now is implicated while she was busy throwing those theatrics, acting for us. I'm like,
Look where they ended.
And now you're expecting the accused to do the same. That is the man who arrested me. No, you're obviously not going to get that. They will wait for their turn to go in the witness box and narrate their side of the story, how they want it to be given to the court. They shouldn't, every 5 minutes, is that what you want? Do you want them to always have their hands up to clarify every single alleged lie that is being told by every witness who sits on? Then this court proceedings are not going to go anywhere if that was to happen. Okay? Then Sibiya said Monareng was giving evidence in his own manner. I'm here giving evidence about what happened. And Sibanda asked, I understand, sir, but the witnesses were tested throughout your instructions. And Sibiya said, I am here giving evidence regarding what I saw on that day. If he was telling lies, I'm giving evidence about what happened to me. Then Sibanda asked him, what is the rationale behind you raising your hand while sitting in the accused box? I'm like, it seems like this prosecutor is a problem.
On a normal day, the judge would object.
It's like it's a problem for him.
Subsequently to that, what happened?
Subsequently to that. Then Sibiya then said, when I raised my hand, I wanted to add where I wanted to add, what I wanted to add. And it's not that I am putting full evidence. My full evidence was going to be given at the time that I enter the box and place all my evidence. So, sir, did it not cross your mind when Monareng entered the box that this person is the one that arrested me? And honestly, in my opinion, it does not really matter who arrested him. Fact is,
and why would you think of that?
they were all there.
Arresting
him.
You must predetermine the line of questioning that you might come with.
He wants to point it out that his rights were read to him as he was getting arrested. Maybe that was the aim of saying,
it sounded to me like he wanted him to confirm his line of questioning. How could he have predicted the circumstances in which this could have happened? You now being the person questioning him, Baloyi being absent, and honestly speaking,
exactly.
It just didn't make sense. The manner in which he was saying, why does it matter who arrested who? They were all there.
And Mokhula and I think Mokhani as well, they already took ownership of reading him his rights, did they not?
They did.
So why now? What is the aim with this line of questioning? Like, that's what was puzzling me throughout as it's listening to the cross-examination. I'm like, what is the point, say? And I wish the judge could have said something, but he decided to know.
On a normal day, you ask you what is the point of this question?
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I'm like, judge, aren't you gonna ask him where he's going? Then Sibiya then said, I did inform my legal representative that this police officer arrested me. And Sibanda said, so before Monareng was excused, did you remind your attorney? And Sibiya said, yes, it was put to Monareng that he was there when I was arrested. And Sibanda said, I put it to you, sir, that was not done. Sibiya said, if you think so, then that's okay. Okay. And I felt like, Sibiya is giving me the energy of defeated. He's giving me the energy of believe what you want to believe. You understand? I'm done fighting. And who would not be exhausted from fighting after you've gone through how many court cases? How many cases has he been through? And you have to understand, perhaps with those other cases, he got legal aid. Legal aid lawyers.
And look where it ended.
So. And look how they ended.
I mean, clearly from what we are hearing now, a proper or a good lawyer would have been able to defend him on these cases.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Then Sibanda then said, let's proceed. You testified today that you were severely assaulted. And Sibiya said, yes, I was. And Sibanda said, it was your evidence today that you even wet your pants. And Sibiya said, yes. Sibanda said, a version through your instructions, your counsel was put before Buthelezi that you even messed yourself up. And Gomezulu stood to object and said it was never been specified what type of messing himself up it was. And Sibanda referred to the court on the 2nd of November 2023 when Gomezulu said that he messed himself up and the police took the pants, and to this day he has never gotten them back. The evidence is not wetting his pants, it is messing his pants. There is a word of difference between the two. This is what the prosecutor was trying to say. So he's interpreting messing himself up as doing a number 2. That's his interpretation. That's not what Mgomezulu said. Okay, we already explained that Mgomezulu was cross-examining, and we were all perplexed as to how this police officer was testifying at the time came to the conclusion that he peed when Mgomezulu said he messed himself up. So this is the conclusion that the prosecutor made all on his own. And Sibiya said he won't speak for how Mgomezulu placed his argument, but he wetted himself on that day and he was being assaulted, which I thought was a fair answer, And the judge said Mgomezulu did not describe messing himself up in terms of urinating on himself, which is what the judge is doing that thing again. Yes, he did not describe what messing himself up meant, but the judge went further to say that of urinating on himself, and I was like, I was like, but he didn't specify. He did not specify whether it was a number 1 or a number 2. But then you are driving it to say that he said it's a number 2, which is not. It doesn't. It's unsettling, in my opinion, because it seems like there's a lot of twistings that are happening here, Mr. Anonymous. Whenever these people are testifying, not so long ago, Gininda was saying that there's a dumping site for ATMs, when that's not what was said. Why are they twisting stuff?
He listens.
So Sibanda then said, do you understand the problem that I'm having now? Witnesses have been told something and your counsel tells witness something else regarding the severity of the assault, which is very important. Sibiya said, I'm here on the box. If things that are said by the lawyer were taken as evidence, I would not be in this box. I am on this box to explain what was happening on that day when I was being beaten. And Sibanda said, are you telling this court to ignore the version that was put to the witnesses and only take what was said today? And Sibiya said, I've never said so. Sibanda said, but you are suggesting that, sir. And Sibiya said, I can't get into the prosecutor's reasoning, but I'm saying what I'm saying in the manner I'm saying it. Okay, Sibanda then said, Mr. Sibiya, I would appreciate some answers because you're going to be here for a very long time, I promise you. That sounded like a threat. Well, I was like, okay, even if it is a threat, it's not like he's in a hurry. He's in jail. He's not going anywhere as well. And your point is... And you know what? He also gave answers. It's not like he was doing that whole thing that was being done by the other witnesses who were coming here to testify and giving essays and not really answering the question. He was answering your questions, you know? And the problem here is that this prosecutor would not take the answers that he was given and move on, like the defense was advised to do by the honorable judge while they were cross-examining witnesses. This time it's not happening. He's allowed to hammer on one point for a very long time and not accept the answer. I don't know what he's expecting for Muzi to change his answer. What is he expecting exactly? And then Sibiya then said, I'm answering. Sibanda said, I'll come back to the 30th. Now let's go to the 31st. You were asked by my colleague that anything peculiar that happened on that day, you'd want to tell the court. Are we also going to ignore the fact that none of the defense counsel were never going to get away with using that tone that he's using to the prosecutor was using to cross-examine the witness? I mean, if any of the, just Mshololo alone, emphasizing like how she does, she was being accused of shouting, you know, I'm like, this tone, if any of the defense counsel were to use it, then the judge would not allow it. But how is he allowing it now? It's very weird and strange. And Sibiya said a lot of things happened on the 31st and many of them I don't remember. I even said to him that there are certain things I can't remember that happened on the 31st. It is even possible that on that day, even you can't recall being given your rights. So Sibanda was trying now to twist that since he can't remember what happened on the 31st and he can't remember many other things, then it means he will also not remember having his rights given to him. No, I don't think the issue of rights is easily forgettable, Mr. Anonymous. So am I tripping? Like being read your rights, I don't think that is something you can forget because you are documenting them. You know, you are figuring your way out of the situation. They're gonna stay in your memory. You're gonna know that this police officer read my rights. You understand? So he was trying to twist it into that thing of saying, since you can't remember well, and he's not the first person to not remember everything well. I mean, Nabo Lorraine were here not remembering some of the things. You understand? Yes. Many other witnesses could not remember for detail. It's only Brigadier Gininda with his essays. Nakona, there are some things he also could not remember to the T. So Sibanda then said that you are certain, and Sibiya said there is no one who informed me of my rights. Do you recall going to Dobsonville on that day, he asked, and Sibiya said some of the things I do not recall. Then Sibanda asked him, do you remember Magwaza? Sibiya said, from where? And Sibanda said, Dobsonville. Sibiya, he said, I remember Magwaza, Sibiya. Then Sibanda asked, what is he to you? And Sibiya said, he's nothing to me. So Sibanda asked, do you remember Mkulu? And Sibiya said, I don't know him. Mkulu. And he asked, do you know Mr. Robert Lion Zwani? And Sibiya said, I don't know him. Mr. Anonymous, Sibiya denied you, Lion. Mkulu. He denied him.
Law, whom they said he knew.
Yes, but also Mkulu never said he said he saw a tall man in chains at the police station. That's what he saw. A tall man in chains. Athi how kanti now lana mfana wami. He never told us who that tall man in chains was. Did he?
Mkulu, who knew Mkulu between the five?
They are saying they got the number of Mkulu from accused number one's phone. That's Sibiya.
Hey.
They're saying they got it from Sibiya's phone and then they saw Nyanga and then they went to Mkulu with him. And he's the one who showed him where Mkulu stays. And Mkulu does remember that police came to my house and
Mkulu knows someone else. I don't think he knows Sibiya. There is someone else that Mkulu knows Sibiya through, isn't it?
Yes, he did say that he knows someone else who knows Sibiya.
In the group. I don't know whether it's not Buthelezi or someone around.
Someone.
Yes,
I also remember
in
him
that group.
testifying that.
So
that there's someone he knows. who's
Sibiya
in
is
that
not
group.
the main person who connects to Mkhulu.
But the police, Mkhula said that they connected direct with Mkhulu. And how do you think of Mr. Lion Zwane's testimony? He never said he knew Sibiya.
No.
Never. So now Sibiya is also saying, I don't know that man. Then Sibanda said, do you recall seeing him at Eraton Police SAPS offices when he's asked about Gininda now? Oh no, it was still about Mkhulu. Do you remember being taken to his place in Palm Ridge? And Sibiya said
even
no.
Ginin gave testimony on that one.
He also gave, yes. He also testified the same thing that Mkhula was saying. Then Sibanda, do you recall seeing him in Eraton SAPS or police offices? And Sibiya said no. Then Sibanda asked, do you remember Sergeant Mkhula getting your phone and scrolling it and coming into contact with the number saved as Mkhulu? And Sibiya said, my phone was taken on the 30th. And now that I think of it, they took his phone when they arrested him on the 30th. So they are trying to tell us that they gave him his phone back so that he opens it and unlocks it, and then they scrolled through his phone and they found Mkhulu's numbers. Is that what they're trying to tell us?
Yeah, I think you are right. You are writing ingoma yasenquthu, right, by saying that it could be Ntuli that they are talking about, who knows the person.
Yeah. Then Sibanda then said it was put to Sergeant Mkhula that she got your phone and she scrolled and came across a contact saved as Mkhulu. And Sibiya said, I don't know of that. I won't speak for someone who said I'm speaking as I'm speaking now. So Sibanda said, so you are saying that the exercise that Mgomezulu embarked on is just a waste of time? Because here Sibanda was trying to paint the narrative that Sibiya is denying everything that his lawyer was saying and the story, his side of the story that he was narrating as part of defending him earlier on when the police officers were testifying. So Sibiya then said, that's your view, prosecutor. And Sibanda said, why did you withhold such crucial evidence regarding the events of the 31st of May 2020? And Gomezulu said it has been put to Mkhula about the version that was put to accused number one. Mkhula did not have a recollection, but at a later stage she admitted to have been to the house of Mr. Magwaza. I don't see the logic if the witness has confirmed the same as the version of accused number one at the time. And Sibiya said the witness today does not even recall going to Dobsonville, and that is the basis of my question. He said the defense cannot tell him how he can move forward about his business. He said, yeah, he was throwing some shade there, feeling himself, you know. And also, I think Muzi is an example of how people go to jail. You know, he does not express himself in a manner that would please people who are learned or people that want, I don't know what they're expecting from him, but it's easy for him to go to jail. Looking at him and listening to his testimony today, I was like, it now makes sense, even those other cases, why he got guilty verdicts. I mean, he can't quite express himself in a manner that is, what is the word that I'm looking for? He's not a man of many words.
It's not.
Then Sibiya said, it does happen that I forget things. What I cannot recall, I cannot recall. And Sibanda says, so you are not wrong to say that even when you are given your rights, it is something you can easily forget because you're a person. And Sibiya said, no, I have not forgotten. My rights were never read to me. You know, look at how sneaky he's trying to imply that he would forget being told.
No,
that,
it's not even snake. He's treating him as a buffoon.
Also notice how this prosecutor is allowed to kind of repeat questions whenever the defense would try to, you know, they would be shut down if they were doing this thing that he's doing. And Sibanda continued to ask, do you remember going to Eraton? Now, this is the question that got me frazzled. I'm like, when did he say he went to Eraton? Then Sibiya said, I don't know Eraton. The areas they took me to, I don't know them as to which is which. On the 30th, he was taken to Soweto, and he remembers being taken to the police station. And Sibanda said, yet you don't remember being taken to the SAPS in Eraton to Brigadier Gininda. I'm like, when did this happen?
That was freestyling, man.
Sibiya then said, I've never went to him. Sibanda said, that is very important, say. Mokgole Monareng Buthelezi and Gininda testified about that. So all these people testified that they took Sibiya to Eraton, and I missed it. Sibiya then said, all these people are speaking their side of the story. All I'm saying is that we went to Vosloorus and to the police station in Diepkloof. They are lying, and Maphumulo is telling lies. The only person telling the truth is Muzi Sibiya here, asking Sibanda. So you're saying that Maphumulo lied, and the only person telling the truth is Muzi Sibiya, and we should believe you. And Sibiya said, yes, yes, yes. And Sibanda said, as these people were testifying, it never came to your mind to bring it to the attention of the defense that they never took me to Eraton. And Sibiya said, as I'm saying, I'm not familiar with Eraton. What I know is that I moved from Vosloorus. I went to Diepkloof police station. I will accept your explanation, says Sibanda. There's only one person who spoke of Eraton, but here we're talking about 5 people. There's 2 sides to the story, said Sibiya, mine and the police. Sibiya stuck to his guns, even after being accused of distancing himself from what his lawyer told the court. Advocate Nis even stood up to try and save the day after the badgering of
And
Sibiya.
the judge did what? The judge was like, it's not you, supposed to be Mgomezo. And then Nisi reminded the judge.
Yeah.
I'm an officer
Of the court.
of this court.
I need to assist the court.
When I'm required to assist the court, I will assist the court.
Now, Sibanda also said, according to the charge sheet in Tembisa court, he did not tell the magistrate that he was getting assaulted. And Sibiya said he told Mboto and his lawyer and showed him where he was injured. He will not answer on behalf of the lawyer in Tembisa, but he is telling the court today that he was hurt and his hands were swollen. And Muzi said that when he would inform the police at Valeria that he was being assaulted, they would go and check and then come back and say that the police that were delivering him are more higher in rank and that they could not report them. He is unable to have seen which police officers was doing what because he was tubed with his face covered. He was kicked with boots, and some of them were even wearing sneakers. He got injuries, and when asked about the injuries, he said they asked him whether there were injuries that could be seen and were visible. And he said if he hit the interpreter, I gave an example that if I hit an interpreter, I slap him, with the injuries be visible.
I felt like you wanted to do that.
Or would he feel the pain? Do you think?
I felt like you wanted to eat it. He made a very good example. Like, first make you now.
Well, he said that even Mokola was kicking him. A whole female was doing the kickerization. Allegedly. He has never said that they hit him with open hands and fists.
I guess Mom Fundis. Can you imagine? And he's eating. In the name of Jesus.
Please no. Sibanda then repeated the number 1 part, the peeing part again, and said that to have happened, he must have been severely assaulted. And Sibiya said that even if you are suffocated with a plastic bag and you can't breathe, there are other parts of the body that want to breathe. Sibanda then said, you said you informed your lawyer about this, so he did not convey the message to the court. And Sibiya said, I don't remember. I reminded him on the 10th that the officers will not stop assaulting me. Then Mr. Masheka was his lawyer. He cannot remember if it was the same magistrate, but it was the same court. And on the 10th, after speaking of the assault, he was moved from Silverton to Morderby, a prison. He wanted to be moved from a police station to a prison so that the police no longer take him in and out as they please whenever they want and assault him. So Sibanda said that Mgomezulu said that the person that assaulted him was Ngamani, and Mgomezulu said it was never out to Mukhani. Sibiya said he never said that the police officers in Silverton were assaulting him. He said that the investigating officers were the ones assaulting him. Whoever was writing chose to write whatever they were writing.
Is this a transcript?
It's a chart sheet that they are using with the Tembisa court.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. We
and
even
it
talked
was
about
written
it
SADP,
before, yeah.
which is South African Detective Police, and then someone said it's SAPS in Afrikaans, so I don't know which was which because the whole chat sheet is written in English and it said SADP, South African Detectives, right? So yeah, and observe how Mukhola twisted this in her evidence. She said that the police officers at Silverton, while it was written SADP on the chart sheet, Mukhola kind of twisted this as well, in my opinion, because she is the one who's responsible for saying that it was the police officers. She went and investigated the police. She said Muzi said the police officers at Silverton. Well, that's not what Muzi says he said. He said that the investigating officers are the ones who are assaulting him. So she was telling lies, he said Mukhola. He said Mukhola was telling lies to Sibiya. So Sibiya said she never came to ask him about the assault. Sibiya said he never challenged her.
Yeah, I mean, Mkhulu could not point out Umfana Sibiya. So it was a different Umfana Sibiya. Kumbula that part.
Yes, I remember very well. I was waiting for him to say
someone is saying that here. Instead, he pointed the female police and said, Nansi lintombazane.
Yes.
They shut him up very fast.
Yes. I think it was Mukhola was in the court in the background.
He's been
on
consistent.
That day.
Like, he's really consistent.
Well, that's it for me. I'm wrapping it up, guys. I'm tired.
Let's hear, guys, what you have to say. The number is open. The line is open. WhatsApp is open. Everything is open. And thank you for actually remembering that, yeah?
Yes, he pointed at a female police officer in the court that, and
then they shut him down. They said, Mkhulu is going out of script.
Mkhulu kind of helped to clear things up for some of us who were very confused about the events that were taking place. That's when I understood that,
Right, guys, let's see what you have to say. It's been a while since we actually gave you the chance.
The lines,
We're giving you the chance now.
Please, guys, call. And I miss you. I miss your voices.
Even though tomorrow
I
have to wake up at 6 or so.
Oh my goodness. Then it means we have to wrap it up. But we can allow one phone
call. I'm
call.
saying, the line is open.
Just one or two. Guys, please call us. We miss your voices.
Coming once, twice. No one has airtime, nothing. No WhatsApp call.
It's late.
It's late. It's late. It's in the morning.
It's late. I wish I could do them earlier, but the circumstances are not allowing.
Yes. Let's have calls. Guys. If you are here, there's WhatsApp call that you can call. WhatsApp number. Here we go. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi, hello.
On the troll.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. Oh, my goodness. I've waited a long time to call your show, by the way.
Thank you for calling.
Absolutely brilliant. The best commentary on the Senzo trial available.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm hoping that everyone can hear that.
So, I've waited so long to call in that I had to make notes because I've had so much to say.
Just
Yeah.
give you a chance.
Okay. Without,
Without.
Come on. It's that thing of WhatsApp fighting the... Can you hear us? Hello?
I was looking forward to that, please. What is happening?
My daughter. Can you
Hello?
hear?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I wrote some notes
Yeah.
Please.
so I don't get distracted.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is that, to me, the fact that this circus is continuing
Yes.
is a case of wag the dog. I don't know if you know the movie. Are you familiar with the movie, Dustin Hoffman?
Dustin Hoffman? No, I'm not.
No.
Okay, well, you can Google it. Wag the Dog is a movie about an American president who is sleeping with underage girls. So to get the attention away from the nation, because it comes out, they create a war in a non-existent country
Yeah.
and make it real to not just the American people, but the whole world through the media.
Wow.
Simply to take attention away from the actual problems of the country.
Yeah.
And to me, the fact that this is going on for so long, this farce, is a case for me of, I don't understand if there's any power even in the country. The powers that be, who are they? Above the police and above the National Prosecuting Authority.
Yes.
Because this case has never been about who killed Senzo. This case, like any case, is about proving or disproving the guilt of the accused.
Yes.
And we are years and years and years into this trial, and there is actually no evidence of any kind regarding any of those people in the dock. Not one bit, not a shred of evidence that would see the light of day in any other country, even Honduras for that matter, in the world.
Yes.
So now we are at that crucial stage of evidence where Tefo said a long time ago, we need a trial within a trial. Now, years after the fact, after he has been demonized, we are in the trial within a trial, which is a farce in itself.
Yes.
Because it's proven already that this is not even about the evidence anymore. This trial within the trial is about actually the police force and the brutality of the police force. So it's the police force and the NPA and that are on trial really at this point.
Yes.
And this is why the judge is such a quacking duck, not even a sitting duck. He just quacks, And today was the most unquacking I've seen him, actually. He's been the quietest today. No, really. Since I started watching, he's just been the quietest today. And the reason for that is because it's the same reason why Baloyi is not doing the questioning, I believe. Because Baloyi can't be the one who bombs on this section because he'll never come back from it if the trial has to continue. So they have to give it to somebody else who can take the fall.
Yeah, take the dirty party.
And this guy is just the showboat they needed. Because he's loving it. He is theatrics,
Yeah. He's
the moving about, the wagging the microphone. He's like a rock star. He's singing. He's Mick Jagger at the microphone.
He has arrived.
Yeah, he's arrived. And the questioning that he's doing actually is just bullying.
Yeah.
Because to me, it reminds me of a woman with the abused woman syndrome. Somebody who's been assaulted on multiple occasions in trauma. You know, now you're being asked, which day did you get slapped? Which day did you get kicked? Which day did both? You know, at what time? Blah, 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 blah. And this guy is maintaining his calm. Simply because he's telling the truth.
Yes.
He's not even raised his voice once.
No.
And even if he wasn't telling the truth, there's no proof either way. For that reason, simply that neither the police nor the prosecution can actually prove whether this evidence is worthy or not, should make it unworthy already.
That is true.
So I don't even understand where law or where procedure or where anything sensible anywhere in the world, from, you know, Suits to Timbuktu or a South American village, tribal, you know, Amazon, where they're still doing, you know, I don't know, 100 years ago practice. I don't know where any of this would make sense. So for me, at the end of the day, is it wag the dog? Where's the real leadership of this country if this is what the world is seeing about our SAPS? And let's look at the pattern of the SAPS. Okay, me personally, I'm in theater. I do drama, amongst other things.
Yeah.
But I have had altercations with the police myself.
Yeah.
I've been arrested. I spent one night in a holding cell. And in Pietermaritzburg, where I come from. But anyway, that's a different story. But I'll tell you this. You know, the police are not pretty. I've witnessed police assaulting people in front of my eyes where I've actually intervened, people in the taxi industry. I've witnessed police standing by while a civilian with a firearm has actually been assaulting someone, and I intervene. And that's besides the nation, anybody who's ever been involved with the police knowing that the first thing they will do is slap you and kick you. It doesn't even matter what you did or didn't do. That's the pattern.
Yes.
So now why suddenly are we supposed to suddenly believe that the police will actually make you change your clothes because they politely want to take you in comfortable way? Obviously, it's believable that you pissed yourself.
Yeah, it is more believable.
That's the only believable thing in this whole trial. Or trial within trial.
Trial within trial, whatever.
Lord, trial within a trial. As Baloyi said. Yeah, you know. So for me, that's what I have to say. And the last thing is the ATMs. From my memory, and I may be wrong, it's actually the judge who said ATMs. I can't remember the day, my lord. I can't remember which day of the trial exactly, but it was recent, my lord, that when it came up that, I think it was in Tunzi, who was taken to some place where there were things dumped and what, that the judge, as he quacked and he waved in his hands and he says, oh, yes, where there were ATMs dumped and whatever.
Yes.
It came from the judge.
With this testifying of his...
I never actually heard it before beyond that. But anyway, that's what I have to say. And have a good morning, guys. Maybe we'll chat again.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
Definitely.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Most entertaining call I've ever listened to, guys. You're getting better at this. You're getting better at levels to understanding this proceeding. Now that I think about it, I'm like, this whole dumping site where they dump ATMs. I don't know where we moved from the place where there were ATM machines that were not working to a dumping site for ATM.
Wag the dog.
I don't know how we moved to that point. And today we were being moved to Muzi, going to Eratin to visit Brigadier Ginida. I'm like, when did that happen? I know my vanilla case, guys. This is not even on anymore. Like, we are all exhausted. Like, we're tired. We're tired of the shenanigans. We're just tired, guys. Close it. Wrap it up.
They don't want to close it.
How are you gonna implicate these accused? They're like,
They failed already.
it's good to accept defeat and like letting it drag on, because I feel like the more it keeps
Zanzi, hello.
dragging on like this, a lot of people are gonna be in trouble.
Zanzi, hello? Can you hear me? Mzansi, hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. No, just only one point, but I think, yeah, man, I was a bit confused with today's proceedings. So, because I remember Mgomes will put that version on to say, I think he even went, he got an instruction, he had to go there, get the instruction. When he came back, he put the version to Mohola to say, accused number one says you took his phone and then you found a number called Mukulu, and then he said he knew Mukulu and Mukulu was his nyanga. So, but now he says he doesn't know Mukulu, and so that was a bit unsettling to say, okay, what's happening now, Muzi? You know, because he clearly put the version to Mohola to say Mukulu is the nyanga, but now he says he doesn't know Mukulu.
and now he's saying he doesn't know him.
Yeah, but at that point, do you remember that confusion Mgomezulu had?
No.
There
was a confusion that Mgomezulu had where Ramusibid was moving up, Mgomezulu up. They always bickering on that issue of clarity when they are clarifying things. But what Mkulu said, I remember Mkulu, I would say is on the money because he's sort of collaborating Mkulu's story. Mkulu doesn't know Muzi.
And Sibiya says he doesn't know him either. So
And Sibiya he says he doesn't know him.
That version that Mgomezulu was putting, I also remember it.
I
now
remember
I don't
it also.
understand
I remember it.
where it came from.
Because Mohola denied taking the phone and
Yes, she did. She denied taking the phone and that it's how it happened.
Yeah, it's how she got the number and stuff like that. So it came from Mgomezu. So that's why he distanced himself. He said, no, what Mgomezu says, and that's why I'm here to say what I have to say. So I don't know. You see,
Where
that was
did Mgomezulu get that version? Okay?
Yes.
What is happening?
So I don't know why he would deny or why Mgomezu would put that version. So I don't know, so that was the only thing that was a bit unsettling. But we'll see tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see. But so far, so good. This man is sticking to, he is not swayed by what was said by the lawyer or anyone else. He's saying his truth. He's saying what he needs to say. Yeah,
and I think the defense must also object on some things there, because I think that guy is just having his time. He's just having a good time with the accused.
I think he's seeing himself as in Baloyi's position already. There already. He's living his dream life. I'm sure he even called home. Mama, you should watch me on TV. I'll be dealing with that guy. I'll be dealing with him. Just watch the space.
So, no, thanks, man. That's all. That's all from my side.
Doing too much.
Thank you.
Like, calm down.
Sure.
Calm down, okay?
I'm sure he said he's gonna be dealing with this thing. Hey, you should watch me. I'll be dealing with those guys. Are you serious, my boy? Yes. Hey, I'll be dealing. Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello. Hey, I have a problem, Emil.
It's the connection.
Yeah. This. Mzansi, hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Find yourself.
I'm all good. I'm sorry about that. You know what is happening here? I'm connecting. This thing is connecting twice.
Yeah, I think Judge Rata is messing with this show now.
No, it's well and good now. We have sorted it out. It's not gonna trouble anyone.
Yeah, can Emily also hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay, all right. No, now I've got the points that I think this case should have been thrown away by now. I've got only 5 points.
Yes.
Number 1, when they asked Gininda what led to him arresting the guys, remember what he said? He said it's because of Zungu said he saw these guys that night of the incident.
Yes.
Which is not proof enough. That is number 1. Number 2, they arrest us because they say on the day of the incident, when they asked him where he was, he said, "No, I was at work." And they went to check at work. They found that he was not at work.
Yes.
And they tried to build a case to say he has absconded and whatnot, only to find out that when the investigation went through, the guy took leave long ago.
Yes.
Point 3, the gun that they tried to put on the scene,
Yes.
it was proved by an expert to say that gun was not part of that incident. The one before the last one, the issue of the head. People who were in the house, people who were there, they say that head was left by the intruders. The witnesses who were there, they say, no, this head was left by the intruders. But we all know that the proof came out clearing the guys off. The last one, I don't know why Ntazi is still sitting there. That doctor cleared Ntazi to say, because the witnesses said, no, we saw the gold tooth. I'm not being otherwise here, but they thought, like Zulu guys, they like this gold tooth. So that's why they said, no, that guy had a gold tooth. We saw it. They say they saw the gold tooth.
Yes.
But the professional said there's no evidence whatsoever that say this guy had a blue tooth, had a gold tooth.
A gold tooth, yes.
But now all these 5 points, why these guys are still there then?
Work the dog.
Work the dog.
No, why are they still there?
Work the dog. We got the term. I guess it's a distraction.
Now they've come this rock and roll star today is singing there on the mic. I don't know why they don't just throw the band klar there. They must just hold the band and that guy sing along.
He's gonna sing Zibanda.
Yeah, but Mr. Unanimous, really, on these 5 points, I don't know why these guys are still there.
You've got the points, man. You've got the points. You are right. On a normal court, maybe in KZN, they would have thrown this case out, as they did previously. Yeah, but hey, Joburg.
No, thanks, Mr. Nima. Let's hear what the others have to say. This is Mr. I want my data. Because these guys are wasting our time, our data, and everything. So me, I want my data.
Mr. I want my data.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Should start a data petition.
That's it. Hello.
Hey, hi, Mr. Anonymous.
Hi, sir. How are you?
And good morning, Emily.
Morning.
Morning. This case is confusing me now. Actually, how many times was Muzi Sibiya taken to RT? That's my question.
Hey.
Because if we can remember correctly, Mr. Anonymous,
Yes.
they arrested him in Tembisa.
Yes.
Geninda was in Vosloorus. They took him to Vosloorus after there was assertion that he wants to make a confession. He was taken to Vosloorus.
Yes.
Then Geninda spoke to him alone, chasing other police officers who were around. So, and then he was certain that yes, indeed, he wants to make confession. Then after, he made arrangements.
Yes.
So, at what time did they drove to Aratin? I think Muzi is giving the correct version. Because he made arrangements from Vosloorus. And they found that kennel in Deep Kloof. So they never went past Aratin. They went there straight. So they in actual fact, their version is the one which is confused. And I think the defense did not capitalize on that version that much. Yeah, in terms of Mr. Sibanda, Mr. Sibanda is just a confused prosecutor. He is trying to be technical, and when it comes to real evidence, he shy away from it. For example, he made a statement that you were extensively beaten in order for you to mess yourself up. Then Muzi responded very nicely, said, no, I was choked, I was not breathing. So if you're not breathing, obviously some parts will breathe. He quickly ran away from that. He did not even come back to it. So, on technically, in order to prove the credibility of the witness, yes, he might be doing well, but when it comes to the real evidence, which is the version of the accused, which was put to the other witnesses.
Yes.
Yes, that is the version of the accused which was put to the witnesses, Abu Geninda, Mkhula, Mukhani, and all those. That is the real evidence. And he still maintains that yes, I messed myself up because I was being choked.
Yes.
And it's quite obvious when you are being choked, you can't breathe. Obviously, you will have to push
other systems
everything to other. Yes, because now you are being forced. You can't breathe. It is not about the beating. The beating, you can be beaten the whole day. You won't mess yourself up. So I think he's trying to be technical in order to get the credibility, and he is not getting there because he is not challenging the real evidence. Yeah. That's my take on this issue.
Yeah, you've got it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
By the end of this,
we'll be lawyers.
I'll be a lawyer.
We'll be practicing.
A paperless one. But I will know the court's mannerisms. I will not be allowing certain things to happen, okay? I'll be like, whoa, stop the lorry.
We'll be dominating it.
Stop the lorry. Where are you going with this?
We'll be dominating.
Objection, my lord. Objection, my lord.
Yes, guys, keep the call coming. I don't want to miss anyone. We're here today.
Goodness.
Today we are here. We want to hear your opinion.
But he's not challenging.
The callers
the
are on
material.
point today. They are on point. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Hi, Mr. Anonymous, as well as Emily.
Hi,
How are you guys this
Jonathan.
evening?
Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
Very well, very well. Missed you guys, but yeah, we're back on it again.
Yes.
Back on it, yes.
Yeah, no, just my 2 cents, I think, for yesterday.
Yes.
I think having the accused on the stand is actually good that they are first on and they're giving their versions. However, I find that I think you guys probably have covered this in terms of the disparance and discrepancies between the judge's behavior towards the first accused, because it's still the first accused, and just the demeanor and the protection of, because remember, anyone testifying or giving evidence, they have the right to be heard. They have the right to lay their side of the story without judgment and with the same protection.
Yes.
And I think the judge still played the role of the evidence leader as well as a prosecutor with the head of a judge, which, because as I think one thing that was apparent was when this Mini Baloyi.
Who's the NPA lawyer?
Yes, the Mini Baloyi.
Sibanda.
Yes, Sibanda. When he stood and defended or harassed, let's put it that way, nowhere did the judge come in and say, we can't speak to the accused in such a demeanor. One thing that I have to give Judge Rata, he refuses to call them accused. That from the get-go, he's always maintained he wanted to know their names. And for me, that's one thing about human dignity.
Yeah.
As much as Sibanda, at some point, he first asked all these questions repetitively about them either soiling themselves or wetting themselves. And then at the end, he says, no, I want to keep, he didn't want to mention it now, and said, no, I wanted to keep the decorum and your dignity. And I'm like, dude, you've been asking the same question how many times?
Yes.
And now at the end, you want to keep you shouldn't even have mentioned that whole waiting thing.
Yes.
Because it was all about destroying his demeanor and just bringing it up. For me, it was one of the things that I hated about this case, that someone's human rights, for them having to soil themselves, or whether they soil themselves or wet themselves, it's besides the point.
Yes.
What is important is that someone's rights, human rights to dignity, were violated. And truly, we don't see the Human Rights Council coming to cases like this or listening to cases like this. I think a week or so ago, Advocate Mkwabani was on the other podcast of McG, and then she had mentioned, because the question was, does she watch this case? And she had a comment about how everything was dealt with and how it was done. And my question is, if she's watching it, but she's not in the position anymore, is the current public protector watching how people's rights are being violated, whether they're guilty or not? Because that is our person who should protect us without cost. But I know you're optimist. I know who she's defending and well, sometimes you know people, and I think that's the problem of the country, is that some people sing for their breakfast or for their lunch or dinner.
Yeah, no.
And then they forget about the ethical and all of those things. Yeah, I think that was one thing. And one thing that I have to also give is props to Mshololo. I think how Mshololo ended, and it's not the first time, but I just smiled and I just clapped my hands when how she ended her cross-examination. Wasn't long, But when she just gave that jab and she let it go, it would linger in the court's attention. And I think Judge Rata would really have to write a long essay trying to make us understand why he thinks that the evidence that the state has brought forward needs to be used.
Yeah.
Because from all of us, I think anyone who has an IQ above 100 would take time to actually see that, most of these things, the police abused state resources, they abused in the public, and also the ends of justice.
Yeah.
That's all what's happening here, and I agree with the latter caller that it's the police and they over being. I think IPA does not do its job.
Yeah.
Because it's their people as well. I don't know when they do their job and how or it depends on a province or an area of IPID where they actually take cases or complaints against police officers very seriously. But IPID in general, I myself don't have trust on what they do to protect citizens. But yeah, thank you very much. It is always a pleasure to give a 2 cents of what happens. And I think one question that I had was on all this question that Sibanda or the prosecutor had. If he had facts to those questions that they went to this area, I forgot the name. Why didn't he take any AVL to prove that they were there? Or mention it.
It's not there.
So it's like you're saying that 5 people came against you, and I like how CBC answered. It's like it's 5 police officers against 1 person who was arrested. So who else is going to be there to defend me? Because I was the only one who was arrested against 5 officers. And I love how he responded to that. But for me, it's like if you're saying that for you to make sure that the state's case is strong, yes, 5 people gave evidence. They are police officers. But where's the AVL of all the cars, or not just the car that CBC was in? Because CBC says that we were the car in the middle. Give us the AVL of all the cars. And then you can say, okay, it's 5 officers with all the cars that were escorting, which pinpoints and shows that they were there.
Yes.
But that's my 2 cents. All the best day. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Wonderful morning from us. Thank you, Jonathan.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Right. I think today's calls were on fire.
They were.
And they are still going to be on fire. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jeremiah. Paul, just on a comment, Sega, I don't know whether it's Sega or Sega. Tidi, that's our member. Backyard Mechanic. Paul, I think I have called you. Seth, Jeremiah, I've called you. Sibanda.
Sibanda.
Skatele. Sibanda. Skatele Sibanda. Owen Komane, thank you. Just see, who am I missing here? Nate Towozisi. Okay, I think I've covered everyone. Mzanzi, hello. Mzanzi, hello. Mzanzi, hello. Yes, sir. How are you? Can you hear us? Oh, noise is making it difficult for us to connect. But Emily, would you blame me if I say, if there are no call comings in now, I should go?
We should wrap it up. We'll come back tomorrow, guys. We should wrap it up, give you more chance to refresh. Tomorrow's
Right.
another day.
Yebo,
We have to
bomjaya.
listen again to Sibanda, prosecutor Omusha. He said he has the long day, remember. He has the whole day or something like that. He's planning on really putting Sibiya on the stand for a very long
I
time.
think working for NPA, it's easy money.
Why do you think that?
I mean, you get the case, you decide, you pick and choose and say, this one, it's better lies. I can deal with this one. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's the case here. It could be the right case. But
It could be different. We don't know.
working for NPA, you just chill, you postpone everything, you deal with one case.
And then there's this whole thing of, you haven't gathered enough evidence against an accused person, but you want them to sit in jail as you're doing investigations. I don't understand that. Why can't you finish your investigations and then make the arrests?
My lord, perhaps...
that part I don't understand it.
I might have made a mistake.
Conclude the investigation.
By leaving my learned colleague here all alone.
And then make your arrests.
I realized that my learned colleague yesterday was struggling. So I therefore saw a need for me to come back and address some of the issues, my lord. I know that we're not supposed to ask a witness
Karika scream
that we have.
when he talks like
so my learned colleague will be taking a back seat for now, and I need to ask some few questions with Sibiya. So my lord, where is that issue of not questioning one witness for my lord? My lord, I think we can always look at the merits and the facts of this case. The main aim here is to assist the court. So if you have a way of assisting the court, I don't think, my lord, it will kill us to actually try
the
questioning.
defense now, but they are sleeping too much sometimes. Just object just for the fun of it. Just
Gomezulu, you are waiting to recross. You are waiting for the last chance. But
I'm taking notes. Just object. Stand up, man. Stand up and say, I
just
object.
stand up. You just stand
the
up and say,
badgering of the witness you're on.
objection. I don't understand where my learned colleague is going with that
this
question.
questioning.
That is not objection, but it is an objection. You'll discuss the merits
Objection,
of
Your
that
Honor.
objection.
The shouting
as the
is
time
so
goes.
unnecessary. I mean, it's so unnecessary to be shouting at the witness.
Stand up and say,
accused.
objection, my lord. I think it is important for us as the officers of
To
this
keep the
law
decorum
to
of the
keep
court.
decorum of the court. Very respectful for the witnesses. This witness has been saying several times that he does not know. I don't know where my learned colleague is going with this. Maybe perhaps this will be better left for arguments.
Just object for
you
the
have said
fun
a
of
mouthful. You have said a lot.
it. Yes, just object.
Stand up and object.
You're
even-
tired. This man is busy putting the wrong information on the record, and you're all just like.
Even he's had to stand up and say, objection, my lord. I'm the office of this.
No, man,
Objection,
object,
my
daddy,
lord.
man, object, daddy. I've always had a problem with this defense counsel when it's time to object.
I'm assisting
object.
the court. I'm assisting the court. Objection, my lord.
Objection.
I'm assisting the court. Why are you standing, Nis? Because this should be Mgomezu. No, my lord, I'm the officer of this court.
I'm the officer of this court. I'm an objector, man. No, but it's too quiet. It's too quiet in that court. No, object. I object.
Rob Hessoff, right? Rob what?
Versus Hepworth.
Oh, Rob.
Rob versus Hepworth.
I think I'm not ready to start, I will always get that thing. It's Rob Hessoff. It's Rob Hessoff, that thing.
Yes, you call it Rob Hessoff. And Rob Hessoff, you mean a person, actually, an individual.
They will deal with me there. My learned friend, can you please refer us to that case of Rob Hessoff?
There's no such case.
Please forgive me with my English. All I meant is Rob versus Heb, whatever.
No.
Guys,
Object that, man. Object that.
Yeah,
man.
something. Do something.
Object.
Just stand up and
I
just
object. You know,
just say something. Guys, thank you very much. Please like the video, share the video, and until later on today,
yeah.
We will see each other again. I would have stayed because basically it doesn't kill, but I need to do something.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone who was on the comments.
Thank you guys for
like the
joining
video.
us, and for those who will be catching up in the morning gang.
Morning Gang actually has more likes.
Thank you guys. Yo.
Maybe that's why we should shift this like live in the morning. Put it in the morning.
And then how are we gonna go to work, man?
The Morning Gang has more likes. Yo,
They come through.
it's a bye from us.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, it is Rob versus Hepworth. Yeah, now I get it.
Rob versus Hepworth.
It's exactly what I'm saying. Rob Hessoff. Guys.